So the polygon can be written by using the polygon which is inscribed in circle. This is the normal condition wherein we are going to consider that taking the side of the polygon as the radius, then with reference to the horizontal, by taking the side of the polygon as the radius. So in this example, we have considered the side of the polygon as 100. So we're going to take that circle as the radius of 100, then draw a circle, and then drawing a horizontal line here, and we're going to get these 2 points as the center. With this as center, by again taking a radius of 100, cut an arc on this side and cut an arc on this side. Similarly, with this as center, cut an arc on this side and this side, so that you are going to get the hexagon. So this is the polygon which is inscribed in circle. So this is how we normally do in the manual sketching. The same principle is used here also when you are doing it in CAD. So now, before going into this command, first we are going to switch off the grids and then go to limits command. Limits command, and specify lower left corner which is 12,9, 0,0, and the upper right corner which will be 594 by 420, which is A2 size. So then zoom all. So now we will going to take up the polygon command. The short key for this polygon is POL. Enter. Enter the number of sides of the polygon, since we want to write the hexagon. So here we want to draw a hexagon. So we are going to consider as the number of sides as 6. So then specify center of polygon. The center of polygon, whatever the data which I enter here, or the point which we are going to enter here, that will be considered the center of polygon. In this case, the center of polygon is 200, 200. So we are going to take that value here, 200, 200. Then polygon, enter an option inscribed in circle or circumscribed about circle. Since I want to inscribe, you type inscribed. By default, it is inscribed. You just enter it. Specify the radius of circle. The radius of circle is 100. So since the radius, whatever we have given here, is radius is 100. So we're going to consider that and type the radius is 100. So enter. So it will going to draw a polygon which is of 100 mm radius. So how to write this? Now how to check this, whether it is taken the inscribe? I will go to a circle command and specify center of circle, center point of circle as 200, 200, and the radius of the circle which I want to give it as 100. So I will say enter. So it will going to take this. So the point whatever I want to specify here, which is 200, 200. So we're going to get this point here, and my display mode, So my display mode will going to change point 200, 200. So I will going to change the display mode to 3, so that you will be able to see that point. So this is how the polygon can be written by inscribe, as explained earlier. So by draw a circle of radius 100. So the side of the polygon which we're going to have here will be, I will show this also, so that the side of the polygon which will going to be 100 mm. So this will going to be the arrow size which is 10. I will just change this. I will say close, dim, horizontal. So I'm going to give the dimension of this. So this distance will be 100. So this is how you will be able to write the hexagon. Now, so I'm going to erase this, or I'm going to keep the same thing. And now to this, I'm going to write the circumscribed. So the next option what we have is the circumscribe. Again, I'm going to take the polygon command. So POL, the number of sides is 6 now, because previously I've entered the value as 6. So that will be considered as the default. Now the number of sides is 6, and the center of polygon which will going to be considered here is 200, 200, which I have entered 200, 200. Then now I'm going to use circumscribe. Circumscribe, we have C. I will type C, and then the radius of the circle is 100. So I will type 100. So now what happens? The polygon will be written outside the circle. So here it will going to take the tangentially to this point. So then with reference to the horizontal, it will going to measure an angle of 30 degree and also with reference to this 30 degree and then draw tangents, and that is how it will going to be divided into, because always the angle is measured with respect to the horizontal. So that is how it will going to be considered to draw the circumscribed about the circle. Now we will going to take up, see, every time when you draw a polygon, it will going to write only in the horizontal direction. That is basically because the angle is always measured with reference to the horizontal. So that is the reason why always the polygon will be written in the horizontal direction. Now we will going to consider the one more option, which is the next option, wherein an edge option. So here, so how it will going to be written now? So for that, the command is polygon. Now before that, we are going to explain how it will going to be constructed. So here we have an edge option. We will going to give the 200, 200 as the first point, and then I will going to give 200, 300. So since it is in the y direction, so you can see this 200 is here and this 300 is here. 300 minus 200, which will going to be the 100. So always it will start from here and writes in counterclockwise direction. Similarly, if you want it in the horizontal direction, you can give 200, 200 and this 300, 200, so that you will going to take write in the horizontal direction. Inscribed or circumscribed, it will going to write only in horizontal direction, but in the edge option, we can write either in the vertical direction or it can be written in the horizontal direction. So to do that, now I will go for the polygon command, POL. So the number of sides, I will going to take 6. I will take type 6. Now instead of taking the 200, 200, if I type here, then what happens? It will going to become the center of polygon. Now I invoke the edge option. For edge option to be invoked, you have E. So I will type E. So specify first endpoint of edge. I will say 200, 200. Then what is the second point of edge? It will going to be 200, 300 if I want it in the vertical direction. So here 200, 300, it will going to write it in the vertical direction. So which is these points? I will say point 200, 200 is the first point, and I will say the second point is point 200, 300. So it will going to take this as the vertical direction. So always it will going to write in the counterclockwise direction. Now if you want to write it in the horizontal direction, again command is polygon. I will say polygon. Number of sides I will going to say 6. So here I will going to invoke the edge option. The first point of edge is 200, 200. The second point of edge is, I will say 300, 200. So I will say 300, 200. So it will go to write in the horizontal direction. So this is how you will be able to write either the polygon in the vertical direction or it can be written in the horizontal direction. There are another way of entering these values, like command is polygon. I will say number of sides is 6. I will take the edge option and I will say 200, 200. The second point of edge, instead of giving the value, I will say at the rate of, I will say 200 less than 0. So it will going to write the value. So what it does mean? Here we are giving the relative polar coordinate system by telling that at the rate of 200 less than 0. So from this point, that is from the point 200, 200. So it will going to write at the rate of 200 less than 0. Similarly, if you want to have at a particular angle, you can also give that. Command is polygon. I will say number of sides is 6. I will take the edge option and I will say 200, 200. Then I will try to write this at an angle at the rate of 200 less than 45 degree. So even in that position also, we will be able to write the polygon. In this case, you can see here, in this case, the angle what you have here is dimension angle. So here, from here to here, the angle what you want to measure, which will going to be the 45 degree. So with reference to this 200, 200. So if I say point, I will say 200, 200. So from this point, it will going to measure an angle of 45 degree, and then starts writing the polygon. So these are all the various methods in which we will be able to draw the polygon. But what I need to do is what is the minimum number of sides and what will going to be the maximum number of sides in which the polygon can be written. So that is also one of the important criteria which I should know how many sides we can give. Suppose if I say a polygon, I will say 1024 sides. I will say the center of polygon is 200, 200, and then I will going to say inscribed. I will say the radius of the circle, I will say 100. Say for example, I will going to consider like this. So you got the polygon here. And similarly, I will going to consider a circle wherein I will have 400, 200. So I will going to take the radius as 50. So it will going to write the circle. So here, if you see these two, it looks like both are to be like a circle. But one is a circle and other one is a polygon. So how to identify that? So I will say, I will going to explore this. And then I will try to list this. If I list this, what happens? We will see. It says it is a line. It is a line wherein the length of the line what we are getting is 0.6136. But angle in xy plane, of course, the one which I have selected is at an angle of 130 degree with reference to the horizontal. But here, if you list this, even though it looks like a circle, but it is not a circle, it's not a polygon. Here you can see it is a circle wherein you have the center point of the circle and we have the radius and we have the circumference and we have the area. So these are all the various things which will going to be given depending upon the entity. So this is what we call it as the data list. So we will going to explain all these things at a later stages. But then what is the minimum number of sides and what is the maximum number of sides to write a polygon? Suppose if I say a polygon, instead of saying 1024, I will say 2. 2 cannot be a number. That is because to draw a polygon, you should have a minimum number of sides has to be 3. And what is the maximum number of sides we can draw is 1024. So this is how we can differentiate. So this is how it will be where the CAD will going to play a major role, wherein the accuracy of the drawing which we can be able to obtain by using AutoCAD. So this is how we will be able to write the